Hello everyone! Thanks so much for being here with me today for this reading all about when the hell, I don't know if I can say that, when is your wish finally coming to you? So, for this reading, we have 3 piles to choose from. I will say in each of the piles, we are not focusing specifically on what exactly your wish is. We are just going to be looking into the specific timelines. I will pop up a reading breakdown here really quickly. We have 3 different sections in today's reading. We have the actual time frame or a guesstimate time frame with the time period cards. We'll be taking 1 oracle card for context on what might be happening around the time that this specifically manifests for each timeline. We will also be using the Astro Dice today to see what energy you'll be in around the time of this manifestation or when this wish comes into your life. And then for each timeline, we will be selecting 2 tarot cards. 1 card will be what helps this wish come true, and 1 other card will be what delays this wish from happening. The 3 cards you have to choose from are pile 1, the astronomer. I'll try and get it nice and close up so you can see the astronomer. Pile 2 will be the guide. The guide. Pretty. Pile 3, you have the assassin. The assassin. Now, if you are new to tarot, the timestamps for each of these piles will be in the description down below. But a way you go about selecting these piles is going to be different for all of you. Some of you will see a card visually that you are drawn to. Others of you will hear either the name of the card or the pile that you are being guided to select. So you'll hear 1, 2, or 3. Some people I've seen will do the hand over the cards just to see which one pulls to them more. And also I've seen people do a random number generator on Google. So they'll type in random number generator, they'll input 3, and then they will generate a number that they are called to. Of course, if you don't find an energy that resonates for you here, then that might be your sign that this video is just not for you. But I think that's all I have to say. Everything and links to anything will be in the description. I will see you guys at your pile. Bye! Hello, pile 1. Thanks so much for being here with me today for this reading all about when will your wish happen. We are going, excuse me, I'm a little sick today. We are pushing through, but my voice box does not want to cooperate. We are doing a timing reading today, and my intention with this reading, if you didn't watch the intro, is to not specifically focus on what the wish is, because I recognize that everyone could be asking about a different thing. This reading is strictly just timing, so if any of these timelines here don't add up with what you're trying to manifest, you could try a different pile that sounds a little bit more like you. Or you could just take this reading with a grain of salt if you don't find what you're looking for here. If you didn't watch the intro, which I highly recommend you do because we go over more in depth what is happening in each of the piles and kind of the reading breakdown. But I will pop up on the screen here really quickly just so you can see a quick little breakdown so you're not going into this reading blind. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get started with your reading. The Astro Dice here are representative of your overall general energy that you'll be embodying whenever this wish comes true. And for you guys, we've got Venus, we've got Aquarius, and we have this 2nd house. Very exciting. So I do think you're going to be embodying an energy of detachment from both your goals and specifically your relationships with people because we do have Venus here. And an Aquarius Venus is typically a little bit more detached, a little bit more stoic, but that doesn't mean they're not able to show the people that they love and care about their own love and care, right? I just think you're being a little bit more selective about who sees your emotional side, who's able to get under your skin. You could also be leaving an emotionally volatile situation or connection at this time, kind of cutting your losses, maybe not seeing, but pinpointing would be a better word. Pinpointing a situation or a connection that just always leaves you emotionally drained, so you don't have any energy for yourself. You're pinpointing that and you're saying sayonara. And I do think this could come along with making new friends, or your coworkers could start becoming your friends. And you're going to be making an effort to spend more time with those people. I think through spending time with people that you love, you're able to make more money at this time. You could also be networking with a lot of people who are financially well off, or meeting the type of people who will help you in your own financial journey. You could also be choosing to make a long-term investment, something that requires you to put a lot of money up front, but that you know will be taken care of and beneficial to you in the future. I think also you will be attracting a lot of attention, maybe enjoying a little bit of popularity. And I think you would be using this popularity for good, whether to raise awareness about something, or I don't know, I just feel like Aquarius is very humanitarian and very future forward thinking. And that sentence didn't make sense grammatically, I don't think. Anyway, I just feel like there is an emphasis on the collective good and humanity and trying to use your power for good. I think your finances will be going on the up and up. And you could also be buying some sort of new technology or luxury that you've been saving up for, or that is going to make your life easier. Also, any sort of volunteer work could have a meaningful impact, not only on you, but on the community that you're serving. You're being generous. You could be donating possessions to help someone else. Overall, though, you will be in a very good spot financially whenever this wish comes along, no matter what the timeline is. I need to go blow my nose. I will be right back. I know, so pretty of me to mention that. Okay, y'all, I blew my nose. So cute of me, but I'm also going to be taking some medicine here. It's so great to have a doctor boyfriend, but it's also awful because you pick up every single sickness that he has to deal with at the hospital. So I love you, but also bruh. We're building an immune system of steel over here, but we're gonna get through this. We're gonna keep the focus on you guys. A quick note about the order of your cards. I will be posting this in June, so this timeline doesn't quite add up, but when I'm recording it, I'm still in April. Hi, hello. It's me from the past. But I just reorganized these cards to go from April, May to November, just so it would be in order for my own brain personally. But I think something significant, when it first came out, the order was November, April, May. So take that as you will. November is probably the closest timeline whenever I'm posting this. But anyway, here we go. This is timeless, of course. Whenever you're finding this, it'll be relevant. For the April timeline requires you to disregard the thoughts, feelings, and perceptions of others and adopt this more I play to win energy. It would require you to make the first move or to go against orders of someone in an authority position. It would require you to be bold. It would require you to act first, think later, very Aries energy. It would require you to push yourself full steam ahead, to fight for something pretty hard. And I think there's a bit of an egoic attachment to this timeline for some reason. Like, it might not be the best timeline as far as productivity or quality or even like beneficial investments, but it's more likely to be attached to an ego, like, oh, this wish is something, if I accomplish it by this age or at this time, that would mean something. I'm the first to do it like that. That's kind of why I'm feeling this ego attachment. However, and I do think it's important to talk about this false alarm card that says, be alert to the situation / people around you. Not everything is as it seems. And this is kind of like an overall arching card to represent the timelines. I feel like there is a warning for the April timeline for some reason. I think if you shoot for this April timeline, you may very well win and get what you want, but you ruffle a lot of feathers in the process, and you may even risk losing friendship, support of your peers, investors. People who respected you may no longer respect you the same way. You might have to do a lot of trust building exercises again to gain these people's support. There's just a warning, like, this might be a very hasty decision, and you run the risk of causing more damage than good, or more damage than you intended. Because it really does kind of feel like it would be unexpected of you. Like, I don't believe that this is just your overall energy. And I feel like it would surprise a lot of people to see you adopt this kind of like, I don't care, I'm going to do whatever I need to do to win. I think that would a little bit scare people, just a bit. And I think a lot of people would be confused. But of course, if you're in this, depending on what your wish is, if you're in this mindset where you're like, I need to stop caring what other people think, and I just need to push through, and I need to ruffle some feathers, then of course, do what you wish, but just be a little careful. Try to plan it out a little bit. We are going to pull some tarot cards. I'm just using the Rider-Waite Smith deck. Hi, hello, the OG is here. We love her. We are going to pull 2 tarot cards. We'll be looking at what helps this wish come true at this time frame, and then what delays this wish from this time frame. Ooh, the 9 of Cups just wanted to pop out. I will not be taking that because it was just me fumbling, but that does represent some like luxury, feeling taken care of. Let's see. I have like the taste of medicine stuck in my mouth. Ugh. Okay, Spirit, what helps the wish come true on the April timeline? Okay, we have the 7 of Cups. And what delays the wish on the April timeline? We have the 7 of Pentacles reversed. Definitely what could help on this April timeline is keeping multiple options open, or having different resources that you can pull from to make your wish happen. I'm thinking like having more than just one person that you're relying on for payment. Like that would mean working multiple jobs or having multiple investors. It could also represent, instead of dreaming or wishing about multiple prospects, you're singling in on a single vision, that could help bring something to fruition quicker instead of working on multiple things at once. I also think it's important to let yourself fantasize about the future you're trying to build, or about this wish, how it'll make you feel, what it'll feel like whenever you accomplish it. That would help for the April timeline. Just imagining a big, bright, beautiful future ahead of you. As far as what will delay the wish from happening on the April timeline, it kind of feels like letting your frustration about the process of achieving your wish or getting your wish frustrate you to the point of giving up or losing focus and not taking the steps you need to actually make it come true. It's like getting frustrated that things aren't happening on the timeline you want, and then seeing that as a sign that you should either give up or that you're not meant to have this wish. Yeah, giving up could definitely delay the April timeline, obviously. It could also be like an attitude issue. Okay. Like, maybe you're becoming, like, if you get moody about this wish, or you let your desire for this wish control your mood and your attitudes, it could affect different areas of your life that then affect this wish happening at this time. And I also think something about like discipline, like not having enough discipline to make this happen, not having enough discipline to keep moving forward. Yeah, a lot of giving up energy. That's like, so yeah, maybe the April timeline, at least when I'm posting this, it is the farthest timeline away. So even though it is far away, I feel like giving up or getting frustrated at how long it's taking you, that is what would cause it to be delayed even more. Yeah, I don't know why I keep being drawn to attitude. I feel like an attitude issue or some sort of mindset. There's like a lesson around, I'm hearing maintaining homeostasis, which is like maintaining balance. I don't know though. I haven't been in school in a while. You could probably educate me about it. Anyway, let's move on to our May timeline. So the May timeline does feel a lot smoother, a lot calmer. Taurus in general, while Taurus and Aries are very similar in the stubborn aspects and the being able to keep going until they get what they want, Taurus is a lot of, I feel like, quiet luxury. It is that balance. They are ruled by Venus. They enjoy the simple pleasures. They enjoy not having to work themselves to death. They also, I think, are a lot more grounded. Hello, Earth signs, compared to Aries. So I think this is more of a grounded timeline, maybe. I do think this would require you to release any sort of ego attachment to when this would happen for you, and also release control over your expectations about this wish. Be open to multiple possibilities. Maybe you're pivoting, maybe your wish isn't coming exactly how you visioned at this timeline, but it's still happening in a way that makes you pretty happy. This is definitely more of a relaxed, self-care looking route, where I think we're still maintaining our relationships. We're having good camaraderie. We're not ruffling feathers, but we're still taking care of ourselves and working on a lot of inner and energetic healing. This would kind of require you to throw caution or care to the wind. Not that you're stopping your manifestation of this wish, but more just like, I don't care about this anymore. Like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And I think this requires a bit of, I didn't expect this, but it's working out for me. Working and thinking outside of the box, and then being patient with what results come to you. I think, yeah, I do feel like this requires a bit of a pivot. It's not exactly what you imagined, which could be this false alarm. And I also think it could be something like, well, I've come this far and this isn't working for me anymore, so why shouldn't I try something new? And I feel like that unexpected something new that you try then turns into gold for you. It's like an unexpected dream come true. Interesting. Let's see. That was a lot quicker. Let's see. Spirit, what is something that helps the wish happen by May? What is something... Ooh. Okay, we have the 10 of Cups reversed. Interesting. And what is something that will delay this wish from happening during this timeline? We have Strength reverse. Hello. I think getting on the same page, specifically with family or maintaining a relationship with family, could be significant here. Your connections, anything that's been out of balance, any boundaries that you've needed to set, I think they would be respected on this May timeline. I think people in your life are just wanting to focus on building back what you used to have, dealing with any frustrations that has happened in your family life. This could also be like maybe you and a partner are breaking up. I don't want to put that energy out there, but if you're like, yeah, that actually tracks, like, yeah. Yeah, babe. That could be a part of it. Almost like a catalyst energy for you. This could also be realizing where you and someone else's priorities and goals in life don't align anymore. Having to make adjustments or having to find a middle ground that works for both of you. As far as what will delay you on the May timeline, this definitely, with Strength reverse, it definitely gives me this feeling of losing belief in yourself, losing belief in your manifestation abilities, feeling insecure about what you've made possible thus far, getting in your head, telling yourself, oh, it would never be possible for you anyway. And then what I would say with this false alarm card, as it relates to this May timeline, it would be like, no, you're not giving yourself enough credit. You're not seeing that just around the corner, something is going to be happening for you. And that's what might delay it, is if you lose steam, or if you start to believe that nothing will happen around the corner and you stop putting in effort, then yeah, it will be delayed. But what you're not seeing is just around the corner, babe. Something is happening. I think this could also be relying too much on what other people say about you to give you a good estimate of like your progress, or letting other people control how you see yourself or how you see your own work. That could dictate, because then if you're like changing your productivity or you're changing your results based on how it's being received from other people, then you're losing yourself, and then it's losing its uniqueness, and it's just a cycle that we don't like repeating. Definitely trust yourself, trust your vision. Of course, listen to respected opinions, but don't take everything to heart. For your November timeline, this one requires a lot of planning, a lot of preparation. It's a lot more strategic. When I think of November, we have Scorpio. What is Scorpio? Ruled by both Pluto and Mars. Mars is a very action, strategic planet. Pluto is also upheaval, death, and rebirth. So this could require you to really examine what in your life is not working and to cut out negative habits or beliefs about yourself, really diving into the root of maybe procrastination, or maybe it's lack of belief in yourself, really finding the source and nipping it so it can't affect you. I also think you will be doing progress reports or adjusting along the way, depending on what works, what doesn't. It feels a lot more scientific. And the risks or actions that you're taking are backed by research or observations. While it may seem risky, it's based on the most likely outcome of something. This does require a bit of pattern recognition skills, so be aware of that. And I also think this could require you to outsource your findings to a trusted advisor, or to look for a teacher or a mentor to look things over. You're also being encouraged to either look up the stories of people who have done exactly what you're trying to do, or to listen to certain documentaries, listen to what they did, what didn't work for them. Maybe you're reading a lot of autobiographical books, listening to people's life stories, trying to see the best course of actions. And also, I do think in the November timeline, there could be something astrologically happening that influences the timeline of this wish. You could have an easier time manifesting at this time, or a portal opens up. So if you're watching it at the time I am posting this video, we have, June, July, August, September, October, November. That's about 5 months, give or take. So if you're maintaining your work ethic, or if you are maintaining your visualization, you're doing the right things, you're listening to yourself, you're healing, yada, 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 it's like the astrology is rewarding you, or that could be, I don't know, some sort of significant Kazemi. I don't even know. Anyway, let's pull your tarot. All right, Spirit, what is helping on this November timeline? What is helping pile 1? Okie dokie. We have the 5 of Wands reversed. And what is going to delay the November timeline? We have the 4 of Cups. I want to say what could delay you. This is also an attitude problem, but I think it comes from a pride of not wanting to express how frustrated you could be, or a pride around not accepting help from other people. There could be people who really do want to help you or want to support you on this journey, and you could run the risk of pushing them away, or pushing away a good thing, because you're fearful of their intentions, you're fearful that maybe their work won't stand the test of time, especially if this is a collaboration. Being a little too judgmental of people, and also running the risk of just not caring or losing some sort of empathetic touch to your work. So really making sure you're being aware of your thoughts, your feelings, and how that's maybe affecting other people. Trying to show up with your best foot forward, trying to give people the benefit of the doubt. Because I definitely think if you kind of go into this really judgmental of people, or just like the attitude, just apathetic, going in with a negative mindset, being very me, selfish maybe. And I don't think this is something that you'd be super conscious about unless you're directly examining. And some of you could be like, this does not sound like me, which then I would say great, because you shouldn't be embodying this energy if you don't want to delay it. This is just what would make this not happen in the November timeline. This also could be, you could be receiving a download or an idea that you've been instructed to take immediate action on, but then you delay it. So this could be something about procrastination here, not utilizing your time wisely, not taking action the moment you get the idea or the opportunity presents itself. What will help you on this timeline? Definitely releasing frustrations with other people, especially if it comes to collaborations or having to spend a lot of time with other people. I think you're realizing that the fighting or the holding grudges, it's more exhausting than anything else. And you're kind of just being advised to let bygones be bygones and to just focus on the quality and the productivity that you could do together with people. Or you're reaching a place where you're like, it's literally taking up too much of my energy to be upset at you, so I'm gonna let this grudge go. I'm gonna forget that you made me mad. I'm gonna just let it go because I can't be bothered. And I think this also could require you to examine where you've been too hard on yourself. If you've been competing with an unrealistic version of yourself and getting upset when you can't maintain a certain productivity level, all of that would need to be re-examined and processed and tucked away. I think it would require you to have a lot of compassion for yourself and recognizing that you really are doing the best with what you have and learning to take things one day at a time. But, okay, pile one, that is all I have for you here today. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, I would love to invite you to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe here at Tarot Moods for more readings like so in the future. All of those actions, or even taking one of those actions, not only supports me, it supports our community, it supports the channel, and it's the best and easiest way to help spread this message to those who could benefit from these videos. It also lets me know what type of videos you would like to see in the future. What else can you do? Well, I have a Patreon if you love my readings and you would like even more. I post 2 videos on Patreon every month. I will leave a link to that in the description. I'm just trying to build a little community up there. Right now, because it's early, I am choosing the video topics, but I would love to get to a point where the Patreon subscribers would be able to request different content and I could fulfill those wishes. If you are interested in booking a personal reading with me, all of that information will also be in the description. The description is a wonderful place, y'all. If you've ever been curious, anything, any sort of question, it's all in the description. I also have a TikTok and an Instagram you could follow. On there, I post content daily. I post videos. I post single posts. That way, if you want even more tarot in your life, you can get that there. And lastly, this is only if you can, if you feel called, not a requirement. I do have a Venmo that I will also link down below. The Venmo, any donations that come through Venmo strictly go towards the quality and content that I produce for you. So that may be buying new decks, buying new recording equipment, whatever this channel needs to produce better and bigger quality content for you guys, that is what that is for. I think that is all I have here today. I love you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm sending you the biggest biggest freaking hug of your life. I hope you're feeling it. Yeah, and I'm sending you good luck on your wish timeline. You'll have to let me know when your wish happens if this resonated. But okay, bye guys. Bye pile 1. Hello, Pile 2. Thanks so much for being here with me today for your reading all about when is your wish happening. Yes, we are doing a timing reading today. This is, of course, a timeless timing reading. So whenever you find this video, my intention is that this will give you a few different timelines for when your wish is happening. If you didn't watch the intro, which I highly suggest watching the intro just because we go over more in depth what we're covering here today and a reading breakdown, I will pop up on the screen really quickly just everything that is entailed in this video. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. First, I have the Astro Dice here. Your Astro Dice is Neptune in Gemini in the 3rd house. Now, the specific placement of Neptune and Gemini is impossible for anyone alive right now. I mean, unless you're like 120 or something. There's probably no one alive with this placement. Just taking a wild guess. But your Astro Dice are representing the overall energy you'll be in whenever this wish comes true for you. I will say we are not actually talking about what your wish is in this reading because I recognize that everyone is kind of coming to this video with a different wish. So I'm trying to be more focused on the actual physical timeline. However, the energy I feel could be shared collectively. Because this placement is impossible for you to have at this time, you could feel like your wish is something impossible or it's something that's going to take you a long time. Or on the contrary, it could be something that you feel like multiple people have been building like for generations before you, or you're trying to build something that will last for generations. You could be studying history or visiting or living somewhere with historical significance around the time of this wish. There's something about the past and how it affects the future being relevant here. I also think your intuitive abilities, or at least your interest in the occult, could be a little more high at this time. You could be interested in studying, or you're just becoming more curious about the different religions or occult practices out there. You're trying to explore what might work best for you. I also think it's important around the time frame that your wish happens that you pay attention to your dreams. Like you could be having very vivid dreams or very vivid visions of the future, what the future could be, how you would like to influence or help humanity in the future. And I also think your communication skills are going to be improving. There's a focus on becoming a better speaker, writer, maybe even singer. Anything to do with your throat chakra, general self-expression. You're finding more confidence in that area, finding your own genius, whether it be with inventions or maybe you're studying something niche. You're finding that flair, that genius that lives inside of you. You could also be spending more time talking with family, neighbors, or friends, especially if you're someone who maybe struggles with maintaining communication, like someone who struggles to text people back, someone who spends a lot of time away from their phone, or maybe you just have strained relationships right now. You will be in a better space with these people. Also, if you need to debate someone or work out a specific contract, fight for your rights, or defend yourself, you will be having a bit of a silver tongue at this time, being very persuasive. You could also be getting help for any learning challenges or disabilities at that time, finding a solution, a medication, or a process that helps you understand and learn more, like a study hack or a medication that helps your brain focus. Also, an influence on working on a car, buying a car, road trips, or any sort of like short distance travel. That could be significant, going on a vacation to a destination that's close to you. There could also be a chance to form allies or friendships with people who might be considered odd or unusual. You're seeing the potential in someone or about something before most people. Also, I think science is going to become a much bigger interest for you than normal. But that is the overall energy. And also the overall message for each of these piles is to stop waiting. You have given it your best shot and a significant amount of your time and energy. Time to let go, which I love seeing, which overall tells me that all of these timelines, you have done your best with manifesting this wish. You have put in a lot of resources and you have given your all to something. So now it's just about, okay, when is this going to happen? Which is what we're going to find out. So for option 1, we have the June timeline. This timeline might require you to wait on another person in a pass the torch sort of way. You might have to wait for someone to retire. You might have to wait for another person or a group to make a decision about you, to add you to a team, to give you permission to do something, giving you the resources you need to do something. Having, like, this timeline would mean you've already sent out all of the required documents, you've already set out your intentions, your business plan, whatever. You've done everything you need to do, but now it's just like being graded or waiting on someone to say they approve or not. You could also be making the best out of a less than ideal situation, especially if you're working under someone that you don't particularly enjoy, or you're having to work closely with an authority figure that you will eventually be taking the role of, but because you're still under their direct authority, you're struggling with that relationship. I think you see things differently. You want to try different things than them, but they're very much like, no, we do it this way. They're not giving you the proper room to breathe or experiment. You could also be needing to work harder than other people, than other candidates. For some reason, there could be an energy of needing to prove yourself because you're being judged unfairly. You'd have to keep in check of any bitterness you have, or it's kind of this energy of you can't control, like even if you were to report some unfair judgments or something, nothing would happen. It would just make your situation worse. It's really kind of like, this is the way things have always been done, so you're gonna have to deal with it. It's definitely about pushing through and just getting the work done, just doing what you need to do, biting your tongue a little bit, trying to maintain a consistent and positive attitude even when you don't want to, even when people are being unfair, even when people are frustrating you. And also, you could have to clean up a mess that isn't yours, like someone is purposely making things a little bit more difficult for you, maybe as a test, which is, I want to say, frustrating, but I think you have what it takes to push through this time. I also think this timeline would require you to think on your feet and to take corrections quickly. With that being said, let's see what the tarot says. We'll be pulling 2 cards. We'll be seeing what will help this timeline, and then we'll be seeing what could possibly delay this June timeline. Spirit, what is helping pile 2 for the June timeline? Ooh. Yeah, we have the 7 of Swords upright. And what is or could possibly delay this June timeline? Okay, we have the 8 of Cups. So, as far as what would help you on the June timeline, I definitely think there is a bit of a strategic, sneaky energy here. Not letting people see what you're doing in the background, or trying to keep some of your secret sauce hidden. Also, watching your back, double checking your work, making sure that you're preventing any sabotages. I don't know why it seems so cutthroat. It just seems like keeping your guard up, not trying to overly trust people, because there could be this energy of someone trying to steal your work or trying to sabotage you. Making sure you're not cutting corners, making sure you're being very diligent about everything that you're focusing on. Anything that you're having to prove to people, double, triple checking. Also, you may need to be doing some reading between the lines, especially if you're dealing with someone who says one thing but means another. You might have to do some mental math there to figure out what they are asking. It seems like you're having to be more inquisitive without overstepping. I don't know. This authority figure, like an authority figure is coming through strongly. There's like a right and a wrong move in this person's mind, and they're observing you, but they're not giving you everything you need to make a decision. So you're having to, I don't know, like you're having to be very strategic about how you do something or how you deliver something. On the contrary, this could also be you might not be feeling like you're going to be selected for something. You feel like people have manipulated the system against you. But keep your faith and keep going. Don't give up, because things aren't what they seem. And someone might be rooting for you more than you think. Someone might be being hard on you because they believe in you, which honestly is backwards, but it does happen, so I have to mention it. With the Eight of Cups representing what might block or delay the June timeline, I feel like overindulging in your dissatisfaction, focusing too much on the negative, allowing yourself to kind of wallow a little bit, allowing yourself to get too emotionally attached to a situation, or expecting to feel a certain way, but then that feeling isn't happening. You're being met with aggression, or you're being met with difficulties. Like, it's not matching your expectations, and so you would give up or decide to pivot. Honestly, the thing that would delay this timeline is giving up completely. Yeah, there's just something about needing to hold out a little bit longer and pushing past these feelings of discomfort for this specific timeline. Yeah, and I guess that kind of goes along with the time to let go message. Instead of letting go of all of your hard work, letting go of your expectations, letting go of the desire to feel differently. I know that sounds a little weird, but it's almost like if you let go of this attachment to wanting to feel better in this situation, that's whenever the feel-good energy starts to come through, and that's when you get your wish. It's this hold out a little bit longer, it'll be worth it sort of energy. Okay, moving on, we have winter. So this is kind of a broad term depending on how long winter lasts for you. So the winter solstice, I believe, is around December 21st. And then isn't the spring solstice, let me see, when is the spring solstice? So between December 20th and March 20th. I would consider those months to be winter, or winter timeline, which is broad, but we'll see. This timeline is more of a natural progression. A conclusion will naturally take place, and it feels like less of a pushing to be given the torch. It's more like just things fall naturally, whereas I think June would be really fighting or pushing or sucking up to someone. I feel like this winter timeline would be when the for lack of a better word, natural progression of things will happen. I need to stop saying that. You could be becoming a parent at this time or nurturing something. You don't have to, though. We just have like rebirth here, and then we have parenthood and legacy. Worth a mention. This definitely wouldn't require as much energy this could require even like laying low, not fighting for anything, not really putting in a whole bunch of effort, listening to the advice from your parents or people who have spent more time in your field. This could also be keeping something hidden, not displaying your cards, not putting everything out there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have much else to say about this specific timeline. It just feels like this wish will happen no matter what. It's just like how much work you're putting in or how you could potentially delay yourself. But the winter timeline is like a nice little middle ground where it's most likely to happen. You might have to wait, you might have to work under people you don't like, you might have some growing pains with this succession, especially if it's like the torch is passed down through multiple people before it gets to you. I also think if we think about botany in winter, don't farmers have to plant a lot of seeds in the winter? That way, or like in a greenhouse, they have to work a lot during the winter so they have a fruitful harvest come spring and summertime, or they have the proper crops to plant. This could require you planning a lot behind the scenes so that when you know your time is coming, you'll be able to strike hot and make a lot of changes quickly. Yeah, I'm not getting a whole lot from that timeline. It does kind of feel like you know that no matter what, in the winter, this will come through. Like it's guaranteed. Interesting. Spirit, what is something that will help pile 2 during this winter timeline? Let's see. We have the Page of Cups reversed. What is something that may potentially delay the winter timeline? Okay, we have the High Priestess. What will help you on this timeline is learning to be a people person, right? Knowing how to communicate based on different people's backgrounds, or just knowing your audience too, I think is important. Knowing how to talk to people, how to band people together, how to get people to see your vision. And I also think this would require maybe a bit of inner work, a little bit of inner healing, especially if you can honestly look at yourself and say, it's difficult for me to consolidate different emotions, or I tend to have a lot of high highs and a lot of low lows. And you're able to, this is like, of course, if you know this is about you, if you can objectively look at yourself and say, okay, yeah, I struggle with a little bit of emotional immaturity. I need to get better at understanding that people come from all different walks of life, and I need to make space for that. Because I do kind of feel like this talks a lot about collaboration or people seeking a service from you or working with you. You just might have to re-examine that and let some biases go, or learn to work with different people. I also think something that would help this timeline is having multiple outlets for different emotions. So like when you're frustrated, you go on a run. When you're feeling creative, you write, or I don't know, whatever you like to be creative, you paint. When you're sad, you watch this specific movie, or you journal, doing things to, like, you have a plan for when you're feeling certain emotions so that it doesn't just bottle up and explode. You have a healthy outlet for everything. As far as won't help you on this timeline, I think only taking your intuition or only taking your own opinion into account. I think you would benefit from hearing other people's opinions, hearing what worked for them, what didn't, or taking little tidbits from other people. I think if you solely rely on yourself, you could have some blind spots, or you could miss out on a potential big payout or a good opportunity. And be careful of any black and white thinking. I think there's more nuance to be had about a certain situation. Allowing your opinions to change, allowing for your plans to change, not being too locked into something. Yeah, I think the only risk here of potential delays is not taking a team into consideration or not taking multiple people into consideration and only charging forward with what you think is right. Okay, let's move on to our April timeline. This timeline is entirely dependent on how well you manage challenges and blocks or hurdles that you have to overcome, not only in daily life, but in your pursuit of this wish. It's kind of like if you're able to bounce back quickly, or if you're able to take criticism to heart quickly and you're able to make those changes, then it won't really affect your timeline. But if you are constantly letting outside forces and circumstances dictate your mood and your determination, then yeah, there will be delays. It's really about how much you believe in yourself, how quickly you're able to adjust to changes and challenges. You should believe in yourself and keep the eyes on the prize here. I think setbacks aren't meant to keep you from pursuing a path. Maybe that's also something, like if you see any setbacks or challenges as a way of spirit saying, no, not this timeline or not this path, then that would, of course, cause a delay. I think you might feel like giving up. You might feel like this isn't going anywhere. You might have struggles staying up to date with something or maintaining the same output with something. As long as you're able to focus and really push past your feelings or any doubt, then this will be okay. But if you get in your head, or you're constantly switching between different techniques or timelines, like, I don't know, it's like a little bit of scatterbrain energy. If you allow yourself to get a little lost in the sauce or not sticking to the plan and the routine, then that's when things become a little difficult or unmanageable. What is something that would help pile 2 on their April timeline? We have the 2 of Cups reversed. And what is something that will delay the April timeline? We have the Magician reversed. Yeah, giving away your power. If you give away your power in any sense, or if you let other people control you, that's when the delays get more and more and more, or the April timeline just gets delayed even more. I think losing confidence too, seeing setbacks as a slight against you and not just a way to re-examine your technique or strategy. I think something that would help you on this timeline, letting go of past heartbreak, as cheesy as it sounds, letting go of the people who have misunderstood you or who don't see you for who you are, people who are projecting onto you, people who have a preconceived notion of you. If you let them get into your head, it might be more difficult to maintain this timeline. But if you recognize that people are people are only going to see us as deeply as they see themselves, and to not take other people's ideas of you to heart, and also other people's beliefs about what's possible, if you don't take that to heart, you'll be able to get a lot more done and maintain focus. Okay, pile 2, that is all I have for you here in this reading today. I hope you enjoyed this video. A wonderful way you can support me and this channel or anyone who needs this is by liking this video. You could also comment, and you could also subscribe here at Tarot Moods for more readings like so in the future. I would like to have you here in the future. That just helps spread these videos to the people who need it, and it lets me know that you like what I'm doing and would like to see more content like this in the future. Other things you can do to support me is by following my Instagram and TikTok. I post videos daily about tarot readings and yeah, if you just can't get enough of tarot, it would be lovely to have you there. If you are interested in private readings, I have links to that in the description below. All of this is happening in the description. The description is a wonderful place, guys, for you to see what the heck is happening. Anyway, you could also join me on Patreon, where I post 2 extra videos every month. I would love to get to a place where you guys would get to choose the content on there. However, we're not there yet. So in the meantime, I will be selecting and posting the content that I think would be most interesting over there. I will also post updates here on this channel, so if you subscribe, you will get updates about when those videos are posted, etc., etc. Lastly, if you feel so called, a great way to support me is by donating to the Venmo linked in the description. Any donations go directly to purchasing decks, purchasing occult equipment for these readings so I can make even cooler videos for you in the future. Also, it goes towards things like technology, so microphones, computers, editing software, all of that. It goes directly back into the quality of these videos so I can provide what y'all are looking for. Anyway, that is all I have here for you today. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm sending you the biggest, warmest hug. I'm having like a rainy, cozy weather here. I hope maybe you're watching this and you're having the same. I hope you get to stay home. I unfortunately have to go to work. So, but if you get to stay home, I hope you have a wonderful, cozy, amazing day. I love you guys. Bye, Pile 2. Hello, Pile 3. Thanks so much for being here with me today for your reading all about when your wish is happening. I am doing a timing reading today. We won't be focusing specifically on what your wish is because I recognize that everyone is coming here probably with a different wish. So I'm solely just going to be focusing on the timeline. If you didn't watch the intro, which I highly recommend you do, just because it goes over a more in-depth breakdown of what exactly we're covering here today. However, I understand if you don't want to sit through that, so I will pop up on the screen really quickly what is going to be covered today, just so you have a general idea. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So, starting out with your Astro Dice, we have Aries, North Node, and 3rd House. Now, the Astro Dice are meant to represent the overall energy you'll be in whenever this manifestation... Whoa, I said manifestation. I mean, I guess a wish is a manifestation. I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, this is supposed to be the general energy you'll be in whenever your wish happens. So no matter what the timeline is, this is kind of what's going to be going on, what you're going to be feeling, experiencing. Okay, let's go ahead and let's go. When your wish is happening, you will be taking a firmer stance in your beliefs. You could be standing up for what's right or what you want, going against the grain, fighting back against someone, protesting against some sort of abrasive or controlling structure or person. You could also be putting in a quit notice. You're pursuing something independent. You're really not going to be afraid of confrontation or losing, I feel, because this is very divinely led. It's more acting on a gut instinct or just acting on instinct impulse. But with the North Node here, I feel like this is something you know you're meant to do, something you know you've kind of like seen it coming in the future or in your mind's eye. You could be needing a little bit more alone time to dedicate yourself to a passion or a life purpose, or to dedicate yourself to something that requires your full attention. Also, because we have 3rd house here, we could have becoming a better communicator, or maybe you have a confrontation with someone and you're surprised with how well that confrontation goes, being able to stand up for yourself, finding your voice. You could feel like your mind is going a million miles an hour. There's a lot of creative ideas or a lot of things that you want to pursue. There could even be competition between you and a sibling or some sort of family member. Something to watch out for, though, there could be something like a car accident, or maybe you're booking an impulsive vacation that then turns out to be a little bit more costly than you'd hoped. I feel like if it is the vacation sort of thing, it might be costly, but for some reason you have this divine pull, like you have to go at that specific time. You can't quite explain it, but you have to. Also, any hobbies like a debate team or team sports could be highlighted here. You could be joining some sort of sport or joining a debate team. And I also think you're going to be trusting more in what you think and putting yourself first and allowing yourself to give yourself the benefit of the doubt in most situations. With the overall time frame card, we have coming soon. This says the wait is coming to an end. What is yours will always come towards you when it's meant to. So this does remind me, like, you could be seeing progress towards a goal happening soon. Whatever is happening, you won't have to wait that long from the time you are watching this video. So perhaps whenever this video finds you, the closest time frame to whenever you're watching this is going to be when it happens. So just look out for that. We will cover multiple time frames though. Speaking of time frames, let's just go ahead and tackle this. So for your January timeline, this requires you to be pretty objective about your overall experience. You might be observing that you're repeating a cycle from the past or repeating a lesson you already learned. It's kind of like, I've been here before, I've done this, why am I still doing the same thing over and over again? And instead of making excuses for you or another party, you're straight up just saying, I can't keep giving my power away. I already know what's going to happen. I do believe with this timeline, it requires you to walk away from whatever or whoever is draining you, and it requires some level of detachment. You have to take the feelings out of this situation and just kind of look at the facts in front of you and realize this is taking away more than it's giving me, and I'm losing myself, and I can't keep doing this over and over. You are being asked to rip the Band-Aid off in order to feel better on the other side, and you will be feeling better on the other side. I think it's just difficult to find the strength to let this go, because I do feel like it's something you've poured a lot of energy and time into. It's something that you've tried to see the best in, and maybe this is where like this standing up or confrontation energy is coming into play. It feels like you've let a toxic situation go on for too long, or you've chosen to believe, oh, it'll just get better, oh, it'll just get better, and you keep moving the goalposts like, oh, by this time, if things haven't improved, then I'll reassess, but that timeline keeps getting pushed. This fully requires you to say, I can't push this off any longer, I can't disregard what I'm thinking and feeling, and you have to release. I feel like you could be dealing with someone who has no regard for how their actions affect others. It's very selfish energy. They could run the risk of getting you in trouble too, like they're doing things that could make you get in trouble, like guilty by association. There's a risk of getting wrapped up in their business or having to play rescuer, having to constantly figure out a solution for them. But all that energy that you're putting towards this person or a connection, it's not being utilized properly. Like the other person in this situation is not using these resources that you're giving them to their proper advantages, they're using it as almost like an escape from the things that they need to do themselves. And they're not learning how to fix their own life. It's like they're getting used to relying on you. I don't like that energy. And I also don't like the energy or the thought of you being drugged down by their poor decisions. A lot of these timelines kind of talk about needing to let something go. And see, I'm already getting tired from this pile, not from your energy, but from the energy of what you're dealing with. Like, it really is a life force drain. And I mean, with the assassin, I just feel like you could run the risk of losing something very important to you. Your health could suffer here. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and pull tarot to see what will help pile 3 on their January timeline. What will help? Oh, we have the Star reverse, yeah. Release the hope that this would turn out better, or that this has the potential for something. What would delay this timeline for pile 3? What would delay this timeline for pile 3? We have the 2 of Wands. I do want to note I have a headache right now. I feel like this whole situation or this person is just a giant headache. Oh my gosh, you have to promise me you're getting away from this. This is like life force draining. You might not even realize how much of yourself is being taken by this person or situation. Ugh, this is awful. If you're asking about a wish of like, when will things get better? When will this situation improve? It improves when you remove yourself from this situation or from this person. Sorry, but that's the truth. I think believing in a brighter future that excludes this person or this situation will help you on this timeline. I think remembering who you were before this person or situation came in and wrecked so many of your emotions and your nervous system. I also think allowing yourself to feel negative emotions is going to make things a lot more clear to you. Sorry, my cat just jumped down from the table. It's really about cutting the BS and saying, I'm unhappy. And it's okay that I'm unhappy, but what can I do to change my circumstances? Taking that power back, realizing that this is just a cycle. Also, I think prioritizing your rest, making sure that you are having ample time away from this person or this situation, that is going to be very beneficial for you. As far as what will potentially delay this timeline, I think trying to do 2 things at once, trying to hold on to the past while building a future, it's like this needs to be a clean break. You can't just leave space for this person or this place. I think even, let me look at my notes. Okay, I didn't have this in my notes, but a feeling I'm having is needing to not burn the bridge necessarily, but make sure there's no way of accessing you, like a no contact situation. If this is a workplace, it's like, what the fuck is happening outside? I'm taking those signs as warning bells, guys. This is a warning to you. Hold on, let me make sure everything is okay outside. Okay, I didn't see anyone outside, but you need a clean break and you need a way for this place to not contact you. In a workplace setting, this would be like putting in your quit notice, but then they're like, but can you work these 2 days? Come on, you owe it to us. And it's like, no, you don't owe this person or this place anything. And it's more exhausting to agree to a compromise. Like, you don't need this. They need you more than you need them. And it would be a disservice to either agree to be friends with someone or agree to keep working for someone only temporarily. Like, no, you need to cut it completely. Otherwise, it's just going to continue wreaking havoc in your life and wiggling their way in, pushing past your boundaries. You need to set clear boundaries of, no, we are no longer in contact. I'm no longer doing this for you. You need to be on your own. For your November timeline, this timeline requires or includes someone helping you, whether it's a friend, a mentor, honestly, even a therapist, someone you trust, a teacher, advisor. This is listening and implementing advice from someone that you can rely on, someone that has your back, someone who sees the situation objectively and is helping you create a plan, formulate an exit strategy, and you would then be listening to them, doing what they are suggesting. It feels like they're trying to help you see what you're unable to see. They could also be working on instilling confidence in yourself, showing you why you don't need this situation, showing to you that you are better than this, that you don't have to stay tied to this situation or this person. This person could also be helping you allocate resources or find the resources that you need in order to exit from this person or this place, especially if it involves something like lawyers or needing to, if you're living with someone, needing to move or have moving expenses paid. It feels like someone is coming in to help you organize all of that, so it's a lot easier for you to make your exit. I think someone is also trying to show you that you do deserve better, that there is better out there, that you can ask for more and you deserve more, and you can live life differently than how it's been going. No matter how long you've been stuck in this situation, it doesn't mean that it has to continue. Someone really believes in you and believes in your potential and is going to do what they can to help you see what's possible when you believe in yourself. I also think, just a side note, the second you separate yourself from this person or this place, your finances are skyrocketing. At least in this November timeline, you're seeing a wild improvement. Whether this person is siphoning finances from you or whether a job isn't paying you for your time and energy properly. What is something that will help pile 3 on their November timeline? We have the 5 of Cups reversed. What is something that could potentially delay? We have the Queen of Pentacles reversed. What will help you on this timeline is forgiving yourself for not leaving sooner, forgiving yourself for what you put up with, forgiving yourself for any mistakes you made through setting boundaries. If you feel you were too harsh, if you feel like you didn't have a backbone, and forgiving yourself for how that affected your life up until now, because you were doing the best with the knowledge you had, with the skills you had, with the community you had. You truly can't blame yourself for making the decisions you did. What you can do is learn from it, but it shouldn't be something that you're ruminating over. It shouldn't be something that you're shaming yourself over, because here's the thing. The other situation here, I believe, was very manipulative, especially of your feelings. I feel like you're a very empathetic individual and you really tried to give your all, and it felt like no matter what you did, this person or this place was never happy. They were constantly either stringing you along or changing a goalpost, changing their expectations. And it's not your fault that you couldn't live up to these crazy unrealistic expectations. And also, if you feel bad about any way you've reacted, because we have to talk about it, reactive ABUSE is a thing. Yes, we need to take accountability for our actions, and yes, we need to learn from our actions and say, okay, how do I ensure that I don't put myself in a situation like this? How do I ensure I react differently in the future? Absolutely. But I think there's also a very real element of sometimes when we are poked and prodded and manipulated and disturbed over and over and over again, we can make or take actions that we wouldn't in our normal right mind. And I think if you are thinking of past actions or words you've said that don't really align with who you are, of course recognize it, but don't ruminate on it for too long. There is better things to put your energy towards, and I think over time you'll be able to have more clarity about what happened and be able to forgive yourself. But I think it's important to know that you really truly did your best. And sometimes it's okay to have regrets. It's okay to feel like we could have made different choices, but instead of holding on to that and keeping it over our own head, we learn from it and we do better in the future, because that's the only productive thing we really can do. As far as a delay in this timeline, there's multiple messages here with the Queen of Pentacles reversed. Not utilizing your material resources properly. If you continue giving away more than you get, if you continue taking care of others over yourself, that will definitely be a drain still that could delay this timeline. Also, not believing in yourself, beating yourself up, decreasing your own confidence. Be careful of the words you say to yourself. Also, not taking care of yourself, not eating enough. For those of you who, when you're going through issues, you struggle with your appetite, you've really got to be on top of it, because that will cause an energy decrease. And I think you are having to do a lot of stuff in a small amount of time. There are a lot of changes, and if you're not eating properly, if you're not fueling your body, resting properly, that will have an effect on the life outside of you. It can make things more exhausting or feel even more draining. So we've got to make sure we're taking care of ourselves. This is also an energy of not staying on top of what you promised yourself, being wishy-washy, not having a firm stance on something. So look out for that for this timeline. For your spring timeline, this timeline, of course, still requires you to walk away. I think your energy is more at peace at this time, though. It's more of a calming, just like, I know this is the only and right decision for me. I feel like this timeline happens when you've given literally every opportunity, every resource, every chance or try to this person or this place, this thing. You've done everything you could, and you're just at your wit's end, and you're like, the only thing that I haven't tried is walking away. So maybe you're feeling more comfortable walking away because of that reason. I think you're instinctively seeing the light at the end of the tunnel and knowing now is the time for this springtime. And I am getting some songs coming through. We have I Know the End by Phoebe Bridgers, and then Free Fall from Rainbow Kitten Surprise. It's just this intuitive gut feeling of knowing this is the end, and you might even feel, you honestly might not even feel anything for a bit. It's just this feeling of I know this is the end. I know I'm done here. I think you're so exhausted by this point that emotionally you're checked out, mentally you're checked out. You're kind of numb for a little bit. And I think even if this person or this place begs for you, you can't bring yourself to care. Like you really just can't bring yourself to care for this timeline. You're ready to start over. You're ready to start new. You're ready to see what's out there. You're just tired. That's the simple truth of the matter. You're just done. You are really done by the spring timeline. All right, Spirit, what is happening or what is helping for this spring timeline? I'd love to see it. We have the 10 of Pentacles, and what could possibly delay the spring timeline? The Hierophant. For what is helping the spring timeline, relying on your community, relying on yourself. I feel like you, by this time, have built up a good savings, a good foundation. You know all of the opportunities that you have in front of you, and you have a solid foundation to build off of. I do see you surrounded by people that support you, who know what's going on, who are willing at the drop of a hat to aid you. I think also relying or talking to your family if you're on good terms with them. Maybe going to meetings with people who have gone through similar circumstances, finding some sort of community who resonates with your message, who resonates with what you've gone through. Lots of leaning on other people for support. Animals could also be significant here. Maybe you take up fostering animals. Maybe you adopt an animal. I've also seen therapies, like I think it's called equestrian therapy, where you are working with a horse for therapy. I also think just keeping in mind your future, the future that you want to build, the future you fantasize about, and knowing that the only way that you're going to reach that is by walking away from what no longer serves you. Thinking of your future kids. Also, if this is a person you're dating, saying, this is not how my future husband would treat me. This is not how my future wife would treat me. This is not the relationship that I know is meant for me. And holding on to that belief that there is better. And feeling the energy of all the people who love and support you, and all of the people who will love and support you in the future when you meet them. The thing that may delay this timeline would be listening to old paradigms or structures that you maybe grew up with that maybe led you to this circumstance. This would be like coming from a religious background where you are taught women are, like if you resonate with being a woman, this is, of course, is just an example, but this would be the case of someone who grew up in a household where they're taught women are meant to be in the kitchen, women aren't meant to have independence, they're meant to be subordinate, they are meant to serve other people. Flash forward, and they're in a terrible relationship that is using them, that is working them to the bone, that isn't supporting them, isn't loving them. The only way that this will delay the timeline is by continuing that line of thinking, continuing those practices, and remaining or continuing to live life through that lens. If you give your power away to structures, if you allow other people to make decisions for you, that would be the way you delay this timeline. Okay, pile 3. Whoa, that was a lot. Not gonna lie, I am pretty tired after that. And I feel for you because you must be exhausted too, having to deal with this energy. I'm so excited for you to escape this. Frankly, I think it's overdue, but you have time. I believe in you. If you liked this video, I would love to invite you to leave a like, leave a comment, let the community know what you're dealing with, find a sense of community here at Tarot Moods. I would love to invite you to also subscribe here for more readings like so in the future. All of those actions not only help support me and the readings I do, but it also creates a community here that we're trying to build, and it spreads these videos to the people who need to hear this message as well. Another great way you can support me or see more of me is by following my TikTok and my Instagram. I post daily on there, both videos and short posts. So if you want more tarot in your life, you can check those out. I will have links to those in the description. If you want even more long-term videos or long-length videos, you can join me on Patreon, where I post 2 extra videos a month. I'm trying to build up a community there. Right now, I am choosing the video topics because we are working on building up that community. However, my goal is to eventually make it to where you guys will select what type of readings you want to see. So links to that will be in the description. If you're curious about a personal reading with me, I will have a link and all the information to that in the description as well. The description is a wonderful place, y'all. I've been saying it all day. It is where every question or everything you need to know it's down there, I promise. Lastly, if you feel called, if you have the means to, I have a Venmo where I'm accepting donations, and any money I get through Venmo goes directly to these readings. So that is for buying decks, that is for buying occult equipment, that is for technology as far as computers, recording services, cameras, anything I use in the production of these videos, that is what that money directly goes into. It is completely optional and only available if you feel so called. It's not something you have to do. However, I think we have reached the end of your reading. I love you so much. I believe in you. I believe in your strength. You've got this 110% down. Goodbye, Pile 3.